Hey, what's up, everybody? Before I get started here, man, there's some other stuff I'm going to be going over other than just showing you guys the new Oculus Quest 2 system that I just got a few days ago. And I've had time to play around on it, give you guys my honest opinion. Only thing I haven't tried, which I got started and cool enough, man, is watching a movie. I plan on doing that tonight just to see if I can last watching a movie with it without getting a headache or anything. Otherwise, I am going to be comparing it to my PSVR system. It's not just the graphics there, where that's the good difference on the Oculus. Newer system, better graphics. But there's some other differences there on that thing to where why didn't you guys copy some of the stuff on Sony or stick to some of your original plans for your older Oculus systems? Otherwise, I do like it. Also, mind me if I'm a bit jittery here. Sometimes when I get my chronic pain, the pain pills I take, because it'll start going into my neck and trying to give me a headache, I take the freaking Tylenol with caffeine, and it's a little too strong on the caffeine, man. It gets me all jittery and stuff and doesn't quite hit on the pain, so I'm still fighting pain. I'm having to clear out my freaking garage now. I already cleared out a bunch of shit to move in here. Now I gotta clear out some of my garage and get it all moved to the back and stuff. So back to moving heavy stuff is getting a new garage door next month. So gotta ruin yourself somehow or life just wouldn't be freaking complete. So on with the show here. Giant moldy Tic Tac. Otherwise, on it being worth $50, I'm gonna say no, unless you really need to get it. Which me, because of this, I really needed to get it. Otherwise, I would have just kept the system in the original box like I was doing, but because I have to keep that glasses spacer on, and I don't want to keep taking it on and off and on and off, you're dealing with plastic, and over the amount of time of doing that over and over and over again, it's going to gradually start wearing down as far as I'm concerned. So I'd rather just keep everything put together the way I have it and only have to take it apart if I absolutely have to, just to make this thing last longer. As didn't have to pay full price for everything. That's when it comes to it's good to be a collector, it's good to be a hoarder sometimes when it comes to video game stuff, if you're going to get stuff from GameStop. And so one thing I did on my PSVR system was upgrade to the newer controllers. So the ones I had, I got them used. I don't know how used they were, so I had no idea how much longer the batteries were going to last. And I always get money for Christmas, more than gifts. So I've gotten a gift card for Walmart. Figured, screw it, I'll spend it on the 99 or whatever too much money controller pack, where you get two of them. As in, lower the freaking price already. They're getting old. Which they'll stay that price until they totally discontinue it, probably at my damn store. Walmart's pretty much all I got here in Kingman. But yeah, I upgraded to those since I had a gift card to knock the price way down. And I already had some older ones, the original PS3 Move controllers that I was using with the system that worked perfectly fine. It was more just the battery that I was concerned about on them. And then not too long ago, found a couple more of them. Hint, hint on making money or just making this cheaper. Found them Goodwill for, I believe it was $7.50 a piece. Depends on who's working there that day. The price goes up and down. As I've gotten some before that I've traded in and gotten them a lot cheaper. So it just depends on who's pricing at my stupid store. If they're going to look them up on eBay or just throw a price on. I never know. I treat it like a freaking casino now, man. It's like gambling at that place. Otherwise, say $7.50 a piece, and then I already had a couple. Anyways, my GameStop still gives $25 a piece for them, store credit. So I was able to get myself $100 credit for the 4 old PS3 Move controllers and put that towards this. Also, for anybody that hasn't been selected yet, hence I still think it's an invite or something. I can't remember how the hell I got invited. You'd have to go to their site and see how you get invited. I don't know if you can just get signed up or what, but e-rewards, if you get invited to that, go for it. It takes a long time unless you're somebody that can stare at the computer all friggin' day doing surveys. But they still have it to where you can earn a $25 GameStop e-rewards card. Where they used to send you a physical card, basically one of those little GameStop debit cards. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's all download for everything. Pretty sure of that. But then I'll probably be wrong in the future, but right now I'm pretty sure of that. What they do is they just send you an email and a link to go to a website where it shows a printout of all the information that would be on the debit card, and then you just print it out and take that to GameStop. So anyways, got one of those earned. Finally, after about a freaking year, if it wasn't the site screwing up, I got sick of it for a while to where every time I'd get a decent length survey where I could make more than just a couple of dollars, I'd get about halfway through and they'd screw me out of it. It's like, here, Billy Joe, Henry Bob, here's 25 cents. Go buy a box of chiclets and piss off. I've even had some recently to where I completed the entire survey, and then all of a sudden at the end of it where they're supposed to say, oh, you just earned so much. No, it's, we've already gotten enough people to complete this survey, so here you go. Here's another quarter, Billy. It's like, I just did the survey all together, so why are you saying you already had enough people if you're going to make me do the entire survey? I don't get it. Otherwise, takes a bit, but yeah, once you get the $75 in credit, which in some alternate universe adds up to $25, you can get your card. So got that, and then I had a few games and stuff that I wasn't playing or had extras of, to where I found out they were worth a little bit. So I was able to knock that price down pretty much to where the giant Tic Tac case here and the Elite strap basically was like maybe $14 at most. I mean, good deal. So that helped. It almost rounded it off to just paying for the Oculus, which is something where it's like, screw it, it's something I really wanted. Could care less about having to be signed up with Facebook. I don't have any of my freaking important information on Facebook, which I'll tell you something that has to do with the credit card situation, where better to do it one way than the other, as far as I'm concerned, if you really don't want them having in your real personal information, hence credit card. Otherwise, I can care less who's looking at my Facebook page, and I hope there's stuff on there that freaks them out, man. I don't care. That's the whole thing with Facebook. It's supposed to freak you out. Otherwise, say, man, to me, $50 is pushing it, but then new system came out last year, so everything's still pricey. I'm sure they'll start knocking the price after I've bought everything. Otherwise, it's a nice case. I got one last year for my PSVR, bought it on Amazon. It's one of the official PlayStation ones. Same thing, hard case. They are nice to have. Keeps everything good, everything protected, and dust free. Since I live in Arizona, we have dust on the dust. It doesn't go away, man. Every time I move anything out in my side room, garage, I am caked in dust and sneezing like hell, so I don't want it getting onto my systems. The only thing where I'd be really careful, the zipper system on this, since it's a zipper, you can see the lid there, that's the zipper, and it's just a little pull string that they got attached to it, which good enough. It's nylon, so it'll last. I wouldn't recommend tugging on it too hard, especially if it gets stuck. Just be really careful with it. It doesn't seem to be a really heavy duty zipper, but it does the job on keeping the lid shut and everything good. And speaking of being somebody that has to wear glasses, pays to have glasses. I got a bunch of these. Every time I get new shades, new cleaning cloth. So this is the best thing to wipe down the lenses on it. It's nice and smooth, silky material, so you won't scratch anything. So first off, and being that I have my green card, as in green card, I'm a patient, which now don't have to be, as they finally legalized it for recreational in Arizona, which is also why I don't have any right now. I'd say about maybe 89% of the town, maybe 88.9%, I don't know. All of a sudden, everybody wants to get high. So, they should have had it to where here's the stuff for medical, here's the stuff for everybody else. But whatever. I was stocked up good enough. Anyways, the pipe that I use if I gotta smoke it to kill my chronic pain or just be able to get to sleep, it has the same type of cord as this. It's a cord. It plugs into things to make it do things. I don't know what type it is, man. Every time I get something like this, the cord's different. They always got to change it. Anyways, between the one that I got for my pipe thing, and then I've got the cord that I use for extending the cord for my PS4 to charge up the controllers and whatnot if I have to do it that way. I was able to mock up one longer if I want to run it through my computer or whatever, which this is not really bad. It's decent length. It's just if you want to have a longer one, you can mock up stuff. Which is annoying, and I'm hoping they'll probably get some soon enough. 99-cent only. Sell stuff like this for phones. It's just I haven't found this type yet, but they got all other types, so I'm assuming one will show up soon enough if I ever needed some. Otherwise, this is strictly for that type of cord. Otherwise, it's the usual 5-volt adapter. Hence why I was able to mock up something and just use my cell phone adapter to charge this, or try and run it through the computer, which I'm still kind of iffy on that. It has to do with the side loading thing. Another thing, I don't know why nobody's really pointed it out other than Metal Jesus, you're right. I've been playing around with this enough. I've recharged it enough times just from doing apps or updating whatever, which right off the bat, if you guys get one of these, first thing you want to do after you get all set up, update it. The newest update, at least that I did, was I think 25, and somebody here on YouTube was saying they just did another update that allows you to have multiple people, I think up to 4 people on one account. So you can just do like a PlayStation or whatever and switch to that person, and then it just sets it up for their stuff. So if you got a kid that you want to give seizures to, because it's family, man, you got to give your relatives and cousins and whoever seizures, or fry their eyes, or scare the living crap out of little kids with horror games. Otherwise, it makes it to where it's their kind of personal account, so you can have whatever you got to do to make it to where little Billy won't freak out and see naked pictures of B. Arthur or something, you know. Or maybe Roseanne Barr naked. That's even worse. That just, yeah. Don't do that to Billy. Do it to your friends. Don't do it to Billy. Otherwise, aren't the easiest to open here. There, get our show you guys here. This piece right here, right up top is where they say to push down, but boy, you really gotta push and then kind of slide with both fingers. Anyways, just takes one AA battery per controller, and they really do last a long time. It still shows 100% on these. But what really impressed me, no cheap ass little springs in them. They are built really well. See that little nub sticking in there that's metal? That's the spring basically. So if you have a battery leak, fewer chances of it ruining this if you catch it right away. Hint on batteries. I'm using the batteries that came with it. They're decent. Otherwise, I just get the regular old Rayovac ones that you can get at Walmart in a pack of like 18 or whatever. It's, they could say what they want about Duracell and Energizer. I have not had success with them when it comes to them being in remotes that you're not using all the time. They always freaking leak on me every freaking time, to where I got to use a knife to pop it out because it'd get all that just nasty white acid. Anyways, if that happens, best thing I found, get yourself some cotton balls and just white vinegar. Pour some white vinegar in a cup, dip the cotton ball in it, and just put it every place where there's some acid. It'll soak it up and neutralize it. It's kind of like for anybody that's driving, used to always do it on the car batteries, which nowadays they've pretty much solved that problem, but on older cars and stuff, I always had to do it on my original Dodge Dart that I had when I was a teenager. Anyways, it's baking soda. That'll work too. It's just baking soda, got a bit more cleanup. The cotton balls, you can just go around and dip it, or even use ear swabs if it's just a little bit. Otherwise, really happy with how they did that. I'm just hoping the rest of the controller will last. It's the thumbsticks here. They feel nice and solid. But things do tend to wear out, so we'll see. As these are not cheap if you have to replace them. I think they're like $70 a piece. And unlike other game systems, you got your right controller and your left controller that are specific to the hand, to where each one of them has X, Y, and then your two triggers, and both of them have some kind of a menu button, which I'm still getting used to the menu buttons anyways. It's the one that's kind of flush to the controller right here. And the cords on them are decent. Nice heavy nylon cords, which with some of the games, especially some of the shooter ones, allow you to throw knives and stuff. I definitely recommend having your hand through it like this, because they are a little slick to where you can end up tossing the controller, and that probably would destroy it. So I was very happy with the quality of the controllers. Let's see. I've got the original strap that came with it. If you haven't seen one yet, you're not watching YouTube enough, but it's basically just this kind of stuff going all around. And the reason I broke down and got just the regular non-battery pack Elite strap was because of my damned glasses. Hint, hint, I am lucky this thing fits at all. I am right on the edge to where any bigger on my frames, I would have been really disappointed and would have had to take the thing back. Because for me, getting glasses is more money than what it would cost to get one of these. I'm one of those lucky people that's got my eyes messed up enough in a weird way to where I gotta have special lenses. Here's System with the Elite strap. And now that I've got it, it's better. It feels more solid. That's one thing. It definitely feels more solid when it's on. You don't feel like you're going to shake your head and have this thing fall off and break. I mean, once it's on and you got everything tightened up via the knob here, it feels like it's going to stay on. But still, not the most comfortable, at least for me, because of my glasses. Which, in fact, I was getting on the day just to see what's out there. And the one that looked kind of tempted to try out, but they need to perfect it some more on the quality of the build. They just call it Halo strap, to where it looks more like the style of the strap that you'd have on your PSVR, but Frankensteined out. To where you got the thinner back band, like you don't have this on it. And then you got a piece where all the weight's going against your forehead and then the back of your head. So it takes the weight off your face, which that's one of the things that makes me almost want to get one if I can find one cheap enough, like on sale or whatever. Otherwise, when it comes to build quality, looking at it, and it's like I saw too many things on it to where if you did the wrong thing, it could break real easy to me. It just looked a little flimsy on the build quality. Like about here on each side of it, literally has a hinge that doesn't look all that strong to me. Like it's held on by just one little screw. And then also the way they did it, this clamps on like the original strap, the Halo one that I was looking at. It slides over the backing that this covers. Hint, hint on one of the reasons why I want to keep this on and everything else and not be taking it on and off. I don't like the way they do it. It's easy to take on and off, but I don't like the way they do it. To me, it's just something that could start wearing out fast if you were constantly switching stuff out. Otherwise, it's got like a clamp that just slides over it. Clear up to behind where the hinge is, as this can be pushed up and down here. But the reason why I like this better than the other is I got to push it all the way up and put this on in a weird way because of my glasses. And then I guess it also has it to where the strap that comes with it goes over the forehead piece, so that's kind of taken on some of the weight too. But I've heard people say, it takes a weight away from your face, but it puts it to the back of the head where they'll still get a headache from it. So nothing's perfect, I guess. Otherwise, another one that I'm definitely thinking of snatching. The only problem is this case that I got fits this no problem. It fits the one with the battery no problem. But the one I've been looking at should work for somebody with a big fat freaking head like mine, to where it covers more of the back of your head. That's what I need. So the top of it's raised up more, but that's going to make it to where I won't be able to use the carry case. So I'd have to take it on and off somehow, which may not be a problem compared to the way this is, depending on how it goes together. It pieces on really weird. Anyways, pretty much the same thing, just bigger in the back. And then the way it goes on here, which you just pull on the side and it just kind of flips off, which you got to still be careful because the main piece that it connects to starts here, and right beyond my finger is the port for your speakers. So you don't want to break that. But the way it is the plastic kind of cups around it, so you're snapping it on. I gotta say, I can just feel that if I had to keep taking it on and off, that plastic's going to start getting weak and eventually break. And I have heard some people complain about the side bands here breaking, which just be careful. Be careful as you can. I mean, sometimes you might get one with a defect in it to where it's weak or whatever, but just be careful. Otherwise, this is the crazy part. Take these off and literally stick them inside of it, because these are original style, classic style Ray-Ban Wayfarers, and the limit they give on this is, I believe, 140 millimeters wide for glasses. These are just a little bit over to where it's trying to get past the area inside here. The only good thing is once I get them in there, they don't touch the lenses. I got, say, maybe about a centimeter of space between my glasses and the lenses. So they're close enough to use this okay, but far away enough to where I'm not going to scratch them. Because the frames are wide enough to where it's hitting the plastic here and getting nowhere near them. So, good and bad. Now the real bad, because I got to jam them in there. You can see how my glasses bow out because I've got a bulbous freaking head. It literally puts pressure on the sides of my glasses to where I don't mind the battery limit on this for when you're playing games, because I do good to last 30 minutes. That's where the PSVR, they should have just stuck to that style for all of these instead of this strap stuff. Yeah, it might be a little bit more ineffective on making the cost cheap, but when it comes to comfort, a lot of people aren't going to care. Rather have the comfort, because that I don't have any problem. Still same thing. I'm lucky I can use that because it gets just close enough to my glasses to where I can see good enough to play. It could be a little bit better, but I'm happy with it. Otherwise, it's not forcing it against your face. So I got it to where it's pushing against my face and on the side. So, like I say, man, I was farting around with one game, hence here's the games that I've downloaded so far after going through all the BS to get my freaking credit card set up. I got the new Star Wars Tales from Galaxy's Bumhole or something anyways. That one I've been playing the longest. And then yesterday, they do seem to have daily deals. The daily deal happened to be one that I was planning on getting next month, hence I'm spent. But I figured, screw it, I was going to get it anyways. It was a Drop Dead Dual Strike Edition. And I agree with some of the people talking about it. The first thing that popped in my head was House of the Dead Overkill. I haven't gotten too far in the game, so on humor, I don't know if it's going to be as good as House of the Dead Overkill. That game gets me busting up every time I play it. I love that game on the PS3 with the Move and also on the Wii. Just a great freaking game. But graphically, it will remind you of the House of the Dead games, but especially Overkill. It's just got that quality to it. And looks fun. But anyways, I got up as far as where the guy's training you to use the gun, so you're in this target range area. I haven't gotten to fighting actual zombies yet, other than just the intro or whatever, and hint on some of the gameplay. But anyways, it's like a, I guess, on the rails shooter where you can shoot, you can throw knives. I mean, it's looked fun. But they had it for, I think normally it's like $14.95, and they had it for 15% off. So basically made it to where I saved the tax plus $1. And something else to bring up, because I'm new to Oculus, they gave me an email for 25% off my first purchase. So that saved me on the Star Wars game. It knocked it to just over $20. So can't complain. Other than, get this put away and out of the way. one thing is I only have one credit card, which is a Visa. It's issued through my bank. And they say when you check to see what cards they accept MasterCard, Visa, and holy crap, because a lot of people don't, they accept American Express, which I say leave home without it. It's not a good credit card to have. Otherwise, I put in my information because I was going to just add it on the Oculus site, and it kept screwing up when I'd go to hit the accept button or whatever, where it would come up with an error saying something didn't process right, which everything I was putting in was right. The only weird thing, and maybe they'll change it, is usually when you put in a credit card on a site, it tells you what type of card you just put in, or it have a drop down list like what type of card are you using. This doesn't. You just put in the number and then it doesn't say what type of card you just entered. So I guess it's the next page that it would load or whatever. Otherwise, this is where do it this way. I just feel much safer about it, especially if you're doing it on the computer. If you're like me, to where I don't want my credit card information directly entered into my headset to where it's saved on there, and I sure as hell don't want it on my cell phone in case I end up losing it someplace and somebody grabs it and knows how to hack that stuff. I'd rather have it on my computer. Anyways, go through the PayPal option. If you're not signed up with PayPal, real easy. And it also makes it easier to where if you had a problem, you can just go to PayPal, take that card out of there, and then go into your Oculus account and just delete the card or whatever. So you get two ways of getting rid of the card if you have a problem with one of the sites like I was having on putting one in. Which so far it looks like all you do is just go into your system on Oculus and just say remove card. I just don't know if they automatically say, oh, you've been buying stuff, so you got to put in one right away or what. I don't know. Hopefully it just makes it to where you just temporarily can't buy anything, but you can still download and stuff. And so I did get a lot of the free download games, whatever sounded good from the Oculus store on demos or whatever, or apps or whatever. So they got some really cool stuff, man. I like to draw. And there's one app, I forget what it's called, but it puts you into a virtual studio and you are literally drawing in space to where you can walk into it. I mean, it's trippy. Like if you got to take a dump or something, you can draw an outhouse and go in there, and then your lazy boy's going to smell like hell afterwards or whatever. But it's cool, man. It's like you can just walk right into your drawing. I just started playing around with it, man. It's trippy. So they got a lot of trippy stuff like that. Now on things that definitely make one better than the other. Everybody brings this up that collects. PS4, you can get a lot of the games for PSVR that are physical copies. So if the thing breaks, you still got your games, so you just get another PSVR, boom, you got your games. You don't have to go through all the BS of downloading again, which I'm limited to 250 gigs, and when it comes to downloading and updating the computers and my game systems and that 250 gigs goes away fast. So I really got to watch on what I'm doing, which so far I think the biggest game file I think was Star Wars, to where I think it was just over 5 gigabytes, which isn't too bad. So I forgot to mention the system I got is normally the $299 one, the 64 gig. I didn't mind that. I don't mind just having a few games or whatever. And that was the only choice I had at the time. I'm not in a big city. Kingman, man, all we have is GameStop and Walmart for getting this kind of stuff. And man, once COVID hit, all of a sudden 99.9% of Kingman turned into freaking gamers. I mean, everything video game related was sold. So I was lucky to grab it. They just happened to have one, and I snatched it up. Figured, screw it. Because, yeah, if you want to have a whole bunch of freaking games, if you're that kind of person where you just got to try everything, which me, I like it for the first person shooters and whatnot. I'm not going to be trying every single game. 64 is good enough for me. Otherwise, I think it's, yeah, 250 gigabytes, I believe. So you're getting a lot more space, but to me, yeah, more space, great. $100 more, not great. It'd only be if I caught it on sale when they start discounting these when something new comes out. Because they're already talking about the Oculus Quest 3, so it's already been out, man, and they're already on to the next system. They're always doing that. I never have the newest system for long, man. I always end up getting it late. This is probably the closest thing I've gotten to getting it on the year that it came out. Usually I always wait, like my PS4. So anyways, physical games, man. If you like collecting, that's something cool about the PS4 VR, is you can get physical games. Not all of them. There's some of them to where you have to download, which on those, I will get on this. Like Vader Immortals, one of the next games that I'll probably get next week. And on that one, kind of like it, but I don't like it. On the PSVR, they got it as one download. So it's all 3 parts, all into one game. This, it's 3 parts. And the way they broke it up is it's $10 or so per part. So if you want to just start with first one and then the second one later on, you can do it that way, or just get all 3 at once. Which I was going to get that first, but figured screw it. I want to see how this does graphically, as the other Star Wars one is made for this system, so better graphics supposedly. And on that, man, just wow. Yeah, I get a headache, but it's more from just the pressure of the glasses being jammed into my freaking skull. But when it comes to motion sickness, nothing. Maybe I haven't found the right game yet, but so far, nothing's bugged me on motion sickness. And I think with me, a lot of it is that screen door effect, which this, I'm yet to find it. I haven't found a game that's got it yet. I'll keep checking, but so far, all the games, everything's way higher resolution, nice and sharp from start to finish, even on loading. Which, on the PSVR, some of the games, the loading screens, like when it's first turning on, showing all the companies and stuff that made it, yeah, you'll get that screen door effect big time. But then once you start playing the game, it'll kind of half-ass go away. So it kind of depends on the games for that system. Some are better than others. Mainly so far all the newer ones that I've picked up recently. Like the Star Wars Squadrons game or whatever, that one, not too bad. I could play that game to death and not get any motion sickness, and thumbs up to that game. That is definitely a dream come true for this nerd, man. To be able to sit in a bunch of the freaking spaceships and fly around through space, blowing shit up, oh, hell yeah, hell yeah. And they've updated enough to where they fixed a lot of the problems that I was having when I first got it. Which, yeah, it would get glitchy, but so far, I'm not running into that anymore. So, when it comes to graphics, oh yeah, this is way ahead of the PSVR. But it goes back to, if you got a PS4, I still say, man, it's worth picking up the PSVR. It is a cool system, even that it's older and you got the wires to deal with, but it's cool. Now, speaking of wires, I love the fact that a lot of the games, so far just about every game I've gotten for this, allows you to be in a seated position. When it comes to the PS4 VR, unless you're like in a computer chair like this, or just a regular like kitchen type chair with no arms, to where you can still lean over and stuff to pick up stuff off the floor, which you do a lot in some of those games. great, grand, glorious. But a lot of my games I can't play in this room, let alone the living room, unless I clear stuff. Because they're requiring you to get up and down and actually move around instead of just stand there. This so far, and either you can't do it or I haven't found out how to do it yet. But when you're in seated position, it will like draw a circle around you, which for me could be a little bit more bigly because as you can see, I beat the living hell out of anorexia, so I need more room to move. So when I'm doing a shooting game, I'll get that border thing coming up that's like a net in front of you that say, hey, you're moving out of bounds here, which that's what it'll do. Otherwise, it's got it to where if you're just doing regular room type thing, really freaking cool. First thing it does, hence for anybody that hasn't really researched on this, that's something that it did in the update, which now all you do is just tap on the side of the thing and it turns on and turns off, which is really freaking cool. It uses those outside cameras to where you can see with it. It's only in black and white. They may change it, who knows, maybe through an update, but so far it's in black and white, which is cool enough. You can see good enough to get up and walk around with it. If somebody's at your door and you want to freak them out and think that you just walked out of the freaking Matrix after walking the path with freaking Neo and taking the green pill or the red pill or whatever freaking pills you like to take, but it's freaking cool, man. So while you're looking at the floor, you touch the controller to the floor so it knows how tall you are, or if you're sitting or whatever, and then you draw with one of the controllers your own boundary around you, where it's like you're painting a line on the floor around you. And then anything past that line, furniture, whatever, it's going to know that it's there once you move out of that boundary. And just the technology on this is just wow. Wow. In fact, 2021, still alive, not quite dead yet. Movie I recommend for anybody that's never seen it. You millennials out there that are getting into video game stuff, man. Awesome movie with Keanu Reeves. If you've never seen it, see it. I didn't realize the future date that movie was supposed to be set in. It just tricked me out because I watched it last night on, I think I watched it on Hulu. Anyways, what is the name of it? Johnny Mnemonic. Guys, got to watch that. I didn't realize the time date was 2021. So it's kind of, this is that person that produced the movie's idea of how 2021 was going to be, which, yeah, some of it's way out there in a good and bad way. But when you look at some of the technology, we're using it now. It's the VR and stuff. That movie came out, I believe, either 94 or 95, and nobody ever thought you'd be able to have VR hooked up to a computer, let alone all in one like this. And even the gloves that he uses. Not only do they have that now, where you can put the gloves on, it's something cool in this that you don't need gloves for. Gloves not needed. Bernie Sanders mittens not needed. Was so it could track the fingers, like when he was doing typing and stuff. He had these crazy ass gloves on. I was just watching on some video that somebody put up to where somebody has came up with gloves that actually have sensors in it so you can feel what you are touching while you have your VR on. It senses through the gloves somehow. It's a trip. So some of this stuff's come true, and I was noticing like on the little mini disc players or whatever. We are way past that now. So he uses that to load up the stuff to his brain. Hence, it's about this guy that's got a chip in his brain, the same amount of memory that's in this thing, 64 gigs, and he's got this. He did buy the enhancement thing at Walmart, so he got his doubler, this ginormous memory stick that he hooks up, and then that doubles it. And then the whole thing is they put too much in, so he's got to get it out faster or to kill them. It's too much. Otherwise, man, just watch it. It's a great movie. I forgot how good it was. It's got some good actors in it. But it just shows how some of the stuff we have finally picked up from some of the movies from the 90s and whatever. So, let's see. If I left out anything. Now that I'm into 45 minutes. Caffeine's good. Pain bad. I hate those. Sometimes the Tylenol with the caffeine and stuff, since I get it at the 99¢ only, man. You can get them, and they work really good for headaches. If you get tension headaches, the caffeine basically activates it. Holy crap, man. I could drink a whole bunch of freaking coffee and it doesn't touch me. This stuff is supposed to be 65 milligrams a pill, and it's like I feel like freaking Beavis. It just gets me all wound up. That's why I'm doing a longer video for you guys. Let's see, what else can I think of and bring up? Obviously wires, so yeah. But the whole boundary thing like this, I still get stuff in the way. Like when I was first playing it in here, I knocked some shit over. Unfortunately, unimportant shit that wouldn't break. But nonetheless, the cameras are here, not in front of you to where it's got to see you moving around. Hence, PS4 VR. It's still using a camera. So that camera's got to be able to see you as in the controllers. This, you're the camera. So as long as it knows what's around you, knows that you got enough space that you've made, you can play. Or if you're just using it to watch movies, you can just kick back in a chair like I'm doing now and have stuff all around you. As long as it's not within that ring that he creates around you, you can just kick back and watch movies and stuff. Which on that, another reason that I love the PSVR. Yes, I'm one of those people that was thinking about getting a 3D TV when they were out. Now they're obsolete pretty much. But if you still have some of those movies and you're thinking of getting the PSVR, hold on to your movies. You can watch them on PSVR. Even if you don't have the TV. It will accept 3D Blu-ray movies, which is freaking badass. Which that's something to where... Fandango. They don't have as many movie apps on this like I thought they would. Like Hulu. Hulu no longer, I guess, supports VR stuff anymore, and they used to. They do have Netflix, but I'm not signed up with Netflix. It's one of the freebie ones where you can watch free TV, free movies. Cool enough. It's just, other than when you're in your virtual room, and it's like you got a big-ass freaking widescreen in front of you, I don't know how to make it towards like you're at a theater. I can't figure out how to do that yet. There's got to be some way. That's where, when you put it into theater mode on the PSVR, it is like you are sitting in at least the second row at a movie theater all to yourself. And you can either make it towards this ginormous freaking screen in front of you, or gradually shrink it down if you want it smaller. For watching 3D movies, yeah, the video quality's not as good as this, but it's just in your face. Like Tron, the light cycles, I mean, it's like they're just right here. It's just a trip. So, another reason. That's where I'm hoping this site that gives free movies, I'm hoping they've added on a few 3D ones, or I'll just try and find something 3D that's on YouTube or whatever. I have found 360 videos where all it does is just put you stationary to where it's like the video's wrapped around you, like you're there. But I want to try this with just outright 3D movies and see how good it is. Which, the fact that now I got to stream everything, yeah, it's just trying to find some. Hence, physical copies. I got a collection of 3D movies now. Which, you guys do get a PSVR, some of the good places to get the 3D movies for cheap. It's Dollar General. I occasionally find them there for cheap, like down to $5. What else? Let's say Family Dollar, but I haven't been finding as many at Family Dollar. It's mostly been Dollar General on the dollar stores. Actually, other dollar stores. I have found, I think, a couple of them at 99¢ only, which they need to change it to not quite 99¢ only, but cheap, like a couple of dollars. Let's see, where else? Other than thrift stores, which they sometimes turn up. Big Lots. I've found a lot of them at Big Lots for $5. So at least you can find them for cheap when you find them. It's not easy, man. They just turn up occasionally, but you can find them out there for cheap now if you want to start a collection on them. And some people, depending on the movie, have said that they've gotten some to where it's almost like that 360 IMAX feeling. I just haven't ran into any of them yet, but starting to build up a nice collection. So I can't think of anything else to say on it other than, yeah, like a lot of you, I would like to have a PS5. Nah, man, I'm going to wait a year or two. I'm still pretty new to my PS4, so I'm still collecting for it. Still really happy with it. So I'll do like I usually do on my game systems and wait till it's been out long enough to where they've worked out all the bugs. We seem to all be testers when it comes out to bugs lately with game systems, which it shouldn't be that way. It should be all working when you get it, but I'm going to wait on that, as I definitely want a PS5. I just, not for the price they want now, or the price they want here on Craigslist, hence freaking scalpers. I've seen them up to $1,000 here and more. For the non-freaking disc system is in the digital only, which is the cheaper one. Up to freaking $1,000, man. I hate those kind of people. So, have a good one, everybody. I don't know what it's going to be, as I'm still trying to clear some of it out in here. Some of the stuff I just don't have room to show without knocking over anything, or I got to have a table next to me to set it on. So, can't really say when I'll have another video up. Otherwise, have a good one, everybody.